On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Max Dupree is listed as LA Knight on the WWE internal roster. AEW's Ruby Soho undergoes surgery for her broken nose. ANJPW named Antonio Inoki honorary lifetime chairman prior to passing. And Andrade El Idolo criticizes WWE's inhuman schedule. Folks, it's time to hit a mushroom stomp into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Max Dupree, will reportedly be returning to the LA Knight character he portrayed in NXT. According to a report from PW Insider, he is back to being listed as LA Knight on WWE's internal roster listings. Mace, Mansoor, and Maxine Dupree will continue under the Maximum Male Models gimmick. On Friday's edition of WWE SmackDown, Dupree grew frustrated with his teammates when they attempted to set the Canadian record for the world's longest pose. Dupree attacked Mansoor, threw his belt at the group, and then said this wasn't for him. And then he was like, yeah, I know how that sounds like, but that's apparently like his thing. He was like, yeah, he said it like real, like, hold on, I'm trying to, Indian yoga instructor Yash Mansoor. Okay. I feel like I didn't look this up properly. What is the world record for the longest T-pose? Yoga instructor Mansukabai Moradia, currently in Dubai, created Guinness World Record by holding the scorpion pose for almost 30 minutes. Wow. I don't think that's what they meant. Well, okay, world's longest pose. I mean, not to pose, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? You could take a picture and that counts as a pose. So, on Twitter, more so on Bleacher Report, I was scrolling through Bleacher Report and I saw a post that somebody was like, oh, so there's world champion that there's a bunch of people on the roster who deserve to be world champions and they can't be because because we're in the Roman era. And on one hand, right, you can argue that, but on the other hand, you've got the Bloodline Jay drinking the haterade Sami Zayn honorary Uso storyline. You've got the this little nugget of a storyline where Max Dupree is slowly turning back into LA Knight, right? You've got the Judgment Day storyline, like there's other things going on inside of the rosters to the point where it's not so much of a big deal that Roman is the world champion. Like, he is just like, like chess, there's a bunch of other pieces moving around on the board. You know what I mean? And they're moving around and they're interacting and there's so many intricacies to the point where when you remember that the king is still at the back of the board and he hasn't moved, it's like, oh shit. It only adds more significance because it's like, holy shit, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him, So, so I think AJ Styles turned heel if I remember correctly, right? He like shoved Ray. So maybe that means he's going to join Judgment Day. I don't fully know. I didn't really watch the whole thing. I just know that he shoved Ray. I don't know what that really means going forward, but I know that's like a little nugget, that's something. So yes, you can complain that, we're in the Roman era, blah, blah, but at the same time, it's like, bro, there's so much going on. You can literally look in any direction and there is something happening with like up to at least 3 to 4 different people on the roster. And when you think about that and you think about the Roman era that we're in, I really don't mind, to be honest with you. And it's not like they fucked up the Roman era, to be honest. Like, obviously, you could argue that Drew could have won at least one of the titles when they were at Clash of the Castle. But at the same time, it adds more significance, right, to when he eventually does lose both one of the titles, either title. It doesn't really matter, So all I'm going to say is give it time. You don't even have to give it time. Focus on something else. Focus on something else right now. I'm sure there's a storyline that you are inadvertently like glued to, so just stick to that. Next, we're going to be talking about AEW's Ruby Soho, and she's undergoing surgery for her broken nose. Ruby Soho has undergone surgery for the broken nose she suffered at AEW All Out. On Tuesday morning, Soho shared a post-surgery photo of herself on social media. She captioned it with, "Finally! The Rock." Anyway, after a month since breaking my nose at All Out, the countdown begins until I can breathe again. Can't you see my excitement? and it's a picture. She is fucking bony, okay? I am bony. She is bony. Anyway, look at her arms. She looks like a 12-year-old. Anyway, sorry. So I assume that she like just got up from the surgery and she's like, you know, because she's kind of got like her eyes closed, but I don't know. I don't know why her eyes are closed, but I assume that she's like, she's got like a bunch of fixins all over her face right now, and you know, I understand that she probably woke up and was like, I assume she was like, this is a picture, you know? So, Soho suffered the broken nose while teaming with Ortiz against AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara on the pre-show for All Out this September. Soho was injured when taking a knee to the face from Mello during the finish of the match. Soho revealed on September 22nd that she would need to have surgery for the injury. Soho said that she had a broken nose in 2 places and a mess of a septum. So, I remember speaking, bruh, how long ago was it that I talked about this? It was like at least 3 to 4 weeks, right? At least a month, at least. And now she's just, so far, it looks like she's just now getting out of surgery. Great. I like giving updates on this. I like following everybody in their journey and seeing, you know, when everything's starting and when they're going through it and then when they're getting out of it, you know what I mean? So, I'm very happy to know that's it. She's got a mean forehead on her too, okay? Listen, okay? I know what you're thinking, alright? But I've got a 5 head too. You just can't see it, alright? Go back and like my old videos, alright? I got a fucking dome chrome. There it is. But no, she's all good, right? All things considered, I'm happy to hear that it's post-surgery. So now, all we have to do now, well, all she has to do now, really, is just, well, I mean, don't sniff too hard. Don't do any Eskimo kisses. And don't sniff any smelling salts because you can aggravate your sinuses. And that's it. And she's all good to go. And then, I mean, you really don't have to worry about, like, you know, losing shape or anything. Like, you still work out. Just, you know, make sure your nose is, and just make sure your schnoz is clear of any obstruction. And you're all good to go, all right? So here's hoping, again, she makes a speedy recovery. Next, we're going to talk about NJPW naming Antonio Inoki as the honorary lifetime chairman prior to passing. Before Antonio Inoki's passing, he accepted an honorary role with New Japan Pro Wrestling. NJPW issued an announcement today revealing that, as part of his 50th anniversary celebration, it had decided to name Inoki as the company's honorary lifetime chairman. Inoki accepted the invitation, and he was officially named honorary lifetime chairman on September 1st. The information was going to be made public at NJPW's Declaration of Power event on October 10th. The role was to celebrate Inoki's contributions as NJPW's founder, a wrestler, and beyond. NJPW wrote, New Japan Pro Wrestling wishes once again to express profound grief at the passing of founder Antonio Inoki and our deepest sympathies to fans, family, and friends. As part of our 50th anniversary celebrations and to celebrate Antonio Inoki's role as a founder, wrestler, and beyond, NJPW had planned to name Mr. Inoki the honorary lifetime chairman of New Japan Pro Wrestling. After Antonio Inoki graciously accepted the invitation, he was officially named honorary lifetime chairman on September 1st, 2022. The information was due to be made public on October 10th at Declaration of Power in Ryogoku Sumo Hall. It is to our deep sadness that this announcement cannot take place as previously planned. However, in accordance with Mr. Inoki's wishes, all of us at New Japan Pro Wrestling will continue to move forward and lead the professional wrestling world to the utmost of our abilities. NJPW was founded by Inoki in January 1972, and Inoki, one of the most powerful and influential figures in pro wrestling history, died at 79 years old on October 1st. So he was named honorary lifetime chairman on September 1st, and literally 1 month later to the day, he died. May he rest in peace. What an absolute fucking legend. Legend doesn't even begin to describe the tenure and the legacy that Antonio Inoki created, not only for himself, but for wrestling, Japanese wrestling, just the overall landscape of wrestling in that world as a whole. There was the infamous match that he had. It was not with Giant Baba. It was, I forget his name. I forget his fucking name. I swear to God. What was his fucking name? Hold on. Inoki versus Great Antonio, right? Yeah, Croatian. Yeah, Antonio Inoki versus the Great Antonio, the Great Antonio. Oh my God. I actually forgot. Yeah, Great Antonio, because they're both named Antonio Inoki. Oh man. So where the great Antonio stopped selling his matches like halfway through, and then Inoki beat the shit out of him in the ring. And then, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but Inoki got pranked by a Japanese show, and they had a man dressed as Spider-Man crash through the ceiling, right? And Inoki just started slapping the shit out of him. And the dude was like, hey, this is not my idea. It's not my idea. I'm sorry, Mr. Inoki, please. I'm sorry. And they wouldn't let the guy go back up. So Antonio was like, if you don't go back up into that ceiling, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. So he went up, and then he came back down, and Antonio slapped him again. Oh, man. God almighty. And then one of the most iconic things about Antonio Inoki is a chin like no other, okay? May you rest in peace, you goddamn soldier, okay? You were absolutely remarkable and just insurmountable in the sense of just an all-time great in the annals of wrestling history, man. I can't believe it. Gone too soon, I say. Gosh darn it. Gone too soon. He deserves the honorary lifetime chairman. He deserves it, all right? The shit that he did, man, and the tenure that he has, he deserves it more so than anybody. Finally, we're going to be talking about Andrade El Idolo and how he criticizes WWE's Inhuman schedule. While speaking with Mas Lucha, Andrade admitted that he feels stagnant in AEW, but noted that he prefers the AEW schedule to his WWE one. Right now, I feel a little stagnant. I feel like I want more. I feel like although I have a good contract, the schedule is good. Oh my goodness gracious, I like the schedule because WWE was Inhuman. It was quite a lot. People cannot imagine. They think because he is fighting on TV, it is the only time he fights. There are non-televised matches in other cities, other countries. Right now, it's difficult because I want more. I feel like I want more now that Rush is back. It's the pressure that we want more. Now, that makes sense, right? You could really lump Andrade with a number of different people, especially... I really feel as though that Wardlow is stagnant too, man. Wardlow, Samoa Joe, the whole Jay Lethal stable kind of, it didn't fall off, but it kind of just like fizzled out a little bit. Who else? So apparently Brian Cage is taking on Wardlow for the TNT Championship. I hope he wins. I want him to win. Because not only is everybody complaining that he's not fucking doing anything, but Wardlow's not doing anything either. Just give him the, if I'm Tony, give him the belt. Fucking shock the world. Give him the belt. Give it to him. And then just have that be a thing. And then put Wardlow in another storyline or something. And then just start the fucking Brian Cage. Start the summer of Brian Cage, for the love of God. Do something with Brian Cage, man. Jeez. Because he was there. And then I think he was part of the stable. And then he got injured. And then I think he came back. He was in the thing with Ricky Starks, Team Taz. He was in Team Taz, and then that kind of like deflated, and then he like left Team Taz, and then he wasn't doing anything, and I think again he either got injured or like he was off TV, and then I think his wife was complaining online that like, bro, you're not fucking doing anything, not to the detriment of him, but more so like, hey, my husband is fucking, he is the total package. Why are you not booking him? You know what I mean? So now seems like the best time to do something with him. Now seems like, I don't want to say now seems like the best time to do something with Andrade. Actually, no, because Andrade is teaming with Rush. So you could do something with, I'm saying his name right, I hope. You can do something with him and Rush. You can have the Andrade family office. See, here's the thing that AEW is fucking up with, right? In terms of the storylines. They're having their prominent storylines, and there's barely any minor ones. Like WWE, I'm not saying that like all of their storylines are absolutely fantastic and it's on the levels of like the White Rabbit and everything. Also, there was like a whole, I stopped following that. Okay, I stopped following because you got the coordinates and then the thing with the religion and the fall of Pompeii or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, that is all y'all. Okay, you can follow that if you want to. But I feel as though that AEW could really take a page out of Triple H's book in the sense of like, you could have, okay, you don't have to, but like, you could do something in terms of like little nuggets of storylines, like instead of it here and then 2 weeks go by nothing and then like randomly bow, there it is again. It's just like, well, like what is this? What are we doing? So I understand where Andrade is coming from in the sense that he feels stagnant, and I think that it goes without saying that Andrade is not the only one who is kind of just like floating around right now. Every time I think about that, I think about Wardlow, because you'd think he's the TNT champion. You'd think he would be in some type of something with somebody, but he's really not, to be honest. I mean, is he still feuding with, what was it, Josh Alexander and Tony Nese? Is he still feuding with them? I mean, is that even a feud? Is it just like some sort of thing that they were kind of just doing for the first 2 weeks? You know what I mean? Like what are we doing here? You know? So if you're Tony, if you're listening, and I know you are, okay, I feel as though that it's probably a good rule of thumb to maybe just think of it doesn't have to be fucking like super intricate. Wow, I can't believe it. Did you remember 6 months ago when he fucking sucked his toe and now it's 6 months later and the toe fell off? Whoa. You don't have to do that, but like you can do something. I don't know, something to that type of thing. I have no idea, boys. All right, what do we talk about? Max Dupree is listed as LA Knight on WWE's internal roster. This is more reason, okay, to just let everything breathe, give it time, be patient, okay? All will be answered, all right? You'll be fine. Ruby Soho finally underwent surgery for her nose. Fantastic. I hope she's actually gonna, that's the whole point of surgery. She's gonna make a speedy recovery. But I'm saying, I hope she sneezes, and then her nose just, and then it goes back to place, and it's fine. And she's, holy shit, I'm healed. And then because she sneezed and snapped it back into place, if she touches it again, it just falls off. So maybe don't do that. GPW named Antonio Inoki the honorary lifetime chairman prior to his passing. He fucking deserves that, alright? What an absolute legend, and again, may he rest in peace. And Andrade El Idolo criticizes WWE's Inhuman schedule. He's like, you know what, I'm stagnant, but I'd rather be stagnant than stagnant and also fucking, breaking my back for the company. You know what I mean? So I understand where he's coming from. Folks, that's gonna do it for this episode. I really hope you guys enjoy. I want to give a shout out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, big hugs all around.